And also there was another one about bestiality. And don't be scared, but that is a subject that fascinates me because you can't, you can't explain, and this is kind of difficult, you can't really explain why bestiality is wrong. Can anyone? I'll shoot your answers down if you do, because I've gone through them all.
I'm a thought leader. Thought leader. Thought leader.
Okay, just a very quick one today. This is just in relation to a comment I got on a recent video regarding Millennial Woes' comments about bestiality. And, well, I'll read the comment. As I say to the guy, I think it's a fair comment and it's worth expanding on. He says, a bit of a low blow. Woes was obviously trying to make a philosophical point about the relations between ratiocination, I don't even know what that means, mate, and moral intuition. A point that is surely not difficult to understand. Well, it is difficult sometimes because I don't know what ratiocination is, but you know, we are drifting into a certain arena involving huffing large quantities of your own farts with words like that, to be honest. Which is an arena I sometimes drift into myself, so it's not great criticism, but still. A point that is surely not difficult to understand. Wyvern's critique of the music industry was more interesting. Now, firstly, is it a low blow to highlight? Well, the video that I made specifically, is that a low blow? Yes, absolutely. It is a bit of a low blow. I'm looking to ridicule Millennial Woes due to his comments and due to my dislike of the man. And well, I believe he is a ridiculous man, so therefore ridicule is nothing to be scared of, Colin, and it's something that which you fucking deserve, mate. Absolutely. Like, this is a man who presents himself, who proclaims himself a thought leader, and people assent to this. People agree with this. People go along with this. People send him money alongside comments saying, "Thank you for being a shining beacon of hope for our people." That's not... That is legitimate. That was in an old video. I clipped it. I don't know if that video still exists. But yeah, I'll see if I can find that. A shining beacon of hope for our people. This is a ridiculous little scene. And, you know, ridicule is appropriate. Because, you know, certain concepts... Well, actually, I mean, we can go beyond that. We can look at his comments itself. So as this guy says, oh, well, he's making some philosophical point. Not really, mate. Not really. And this is the point, that anyone who has to sort of juggle philosophical ideals on the subject of things like bestiality has no moral compass. So this is why it's relevant. Millennial Woes has absolutely no moral compass. He has no instinct regarding right and wrong. And this is dangerous, potentially. He is a fucking degenerate. I mean, it's not open for debate. He's crowed about his degeneracy previously. He stated, you know, I'll stick it on the screen, you know, his comments about being a degenerate, this lends him a certain perspective, and, you know, and he actually kind of derides people that mindlessly obey the rules. So this is all relevant. And in this little piece, I mean, he's just a lolcow. Okay, I don't believe Millennial Woes has sex with animals. I don't believe that to be the case. The key point here is he doesn't, that subject doesn't arise to him and he just says, oh, it's fucking disgusting, what the fuck? That is it. That's all you need to fucking explore on that subject. You don't need to go away and ponder it. But you do if you're a fucking degenerate who has no moral compass and no instincts. And these kind of people can be led in really quite, well, they can be led in very dark paths. So it's not a guy you want to fucking get behind. Although he would like it if you got behind him, if you're male, presumably, because he's had so many men behind him, he can't remember their names. You know, because I don't know what it is with him. I mean, he's bi, clearly. So, you know, it's just like he is a degenerate. He seeks pleasure from, you know, bodily functions in this regard, and he's not fussed. So again, this is kind of relevant because he's clearly umming and ahhing about the subject of bestiality, like, and he's had to go away and ponder this. And he claims that he can shoot down anyone's, reasoning that bestiality is, I can't remember his exact term, but it is, basically it's okay. He can shoot your answers right down if you do. I can shoot down your answers. No, you can't, Colin. No, you can't. But what this shows is, again, this is a degenerate human being, and it's a moral degeneracy. And it's like, if you've got to, I don't think he is, as I say, I don't think he interferes with animals. I don't think he interferes with children. But, it's a guy with this kind of outlook, with this kind of character, ultimately, that in other circumstances could go off and read Sartre, and he could justify things to himself that fucking Sartre talked about, and any number of other of these fucking wrong-uns. So you need to have a moral compass. You need to have a clear delineation between fucking right and wrong. I mean, it's just, and you don't need to turn it into a big philosophical fucking tap dance. It's just, bestiality is wrong. Like, next subject. So what this shows to you is how utterly unfit Millennial Woes is to talk about anything from any kind of frame as being a thought leader. But then again, this is the dissident right. They accept this. The great summit of Millennial Woes and Morgoth, the little fucking active measures weeble, this is the great summit of the dissident right. Morgoth sits down and puts the world to rights with a man who's been sodomized by so many men he can't remember their names, and was crowing about his degeneracy back in 2014 and proclaiming that 25% of the people he's attracted to are female, and that this lends him a certain sort of like gravitas, philosophical gravitas, because he stared into the abyss. I mean, if you're talking about, like, you're claiming that your staring into the abyss lends you, depth. This is actually quite dark in certain circumstances. Now, I do think that he is just a lolcow, fundamentally. But what else is in this abyss that you speak of? Do you know what I mean? Because two women alone, and I mean, I'll stick them on the screen, their comments about him, that he's addicted to fucking pornography, which he basically admitted as well. I think it was in the wake of his most recent Annus Horribilis, again, been many, he said that, I mean, perhaps this is him like wearing the clothes of victim. He proclaims himself he has to go away and struggle with his addiction. Well, I mean, it's pretty clear what you're talking about, and I don't think it's fizzy pop or cigarettes, because, that's one thing, but if you're talking about psychological problems and you need to go away and deal with addiction issues, the guy doesn't drink and he doesn't take drugs, so it's pretty fucking clear what he's addicted to, and other people have alluded to it. The guy watches freaky fucking porn, like, and there's a comment that was made on my channel, and it said that's the basis for his personality. He watches weird shit on the internet, and that's the basis of his personality, which I think is actually quite accurate. And then again, this is why he fucking leaks out all this shit with Ukraine. And I mean, this is my supposition. I think he just watches fucking degrading shit on the internet, and then blurts it out of his weird subconscious. Well, this guy's a fucking degenerate. He's an absolute mess. So, yes, I did look to ridicule him in that clip. Yeah, you could say it's tacky. Oh, fair enough, that little video. It's just a daft little video. Just pissing around with it. Make of it what you will. But underneath that whole aspect, it is something that needs to be explored. And he did talk about this, by the way. He talked about it with those two Yanks who were sort of holding his feet to the fire about being a bender. And I mean, it's a really long video. It's a Godmanson video. It's like 3 hours, but you can go and find it if you want. But they kind of press him a little bit. The fat guy kind of presses him a little bit on that. And he says that what he was wrestling with, I mean, it's just absolutely risible. And it just shows you again, this guy's a fucking fool. He's a moron. He claims he's got 145 IQ, which is comedy gold. But, well, between 145 and 156, to be clear. But he says that the central point that he was trying to make is that animals don't consent, which is fucking ridiculous. Like, dogs don't consent. They don't consent to a fucking biscuit. They don't consent to go for a walk. Like, you know, my dog consents to a fucking bath. Like, he doesn't like water, but he understands certain circumstances. He's like, fuck. Like, when he has to get washed, which he's not a fan of. But he understands, oh, God, I've got to go through this. He consents to it. He doesn't fucking bite me or my wife while, you know, he's getting a fucking bath. So this is just drivel. With Millennial Woes, like, he'll see a question like this. I mean, I don't know. This is probably his own narcissism, his dark triad narcissism. And, you know, when presented with something like bestiality, he puts himself above social morality. And he puts himself above norms, societal norms, just basic human, what is right and wrong. And he has to go away and rationalize this because he's better than all that. Because he doesn't respect societal norms. It's fucking clear that this guy is, well, he is a narcissist. He doesn't, on any level, respect societal norms. So all this based, trad, return to tradition, it's all just fucking bullshit. It's absolute, it's just clothes that he can wear on the internet to source money from deracinated people. Which I believe he does, you know, in a calculated fashion. Well, it's fucking patently obvious. The proof is there. No one cares. We understand that. Because they are, like him, deracinated. They deserve him. They deserve him. They have got the man that they wanted. This is the actual black pill about this isn't right, which, you know, is a large section of what you might call British nationalism, I suppose. Is that these figures, these are what they want. They want the little fucking lying little weeble of the North, who the noble savage of the law, who gives them the intellectual fart sniffing that they can go and get a high off. Because this is the sort of stuff that, like, if you don't read yourself, if you don't, you know, you can kind of, it makes you feel clever. Because it's someone doing their own little thing, but it's all pulled through filters, like toxic nostalgia filter, pulled through the fucking, well, you know, the active measures filter, everything else. And it gives them hot takes and they can feel clever. This is what these people want. And they don't care about it because they are, again, they are like their subjects or their figures. They are deracinated. So when people say this guy fucking lies all the time, like, haven't you got a problem with this? He's gaslighting people. Haven't you got a problem with this? No. No. Millennial Woes grifts off people. Haven't you got a fucking problem with this? No. You know, Millennial Woes is just appalling behaviour. Like a fucking, well, probably a lifetime of it. But certainly, you know, in public eye, as it were. A litany of examples, and no one's got a problem with any of it because the group is deracinated to that extent. It's demoralised. Because it's one reason. I mean, what came first, the chicken or the egg? I don't know. There is, I suppose, long generational thematic demoralization that has occurred of the Western mind, you know, which, you know, generations are victims of. Okay, we understand that. But there's also, like, if you just welcome these demoralization agents into your fucking house, then don't fucking complain when you're miserable. Don't complain when you're fucking chatting away on your fucking keyboard. Click, 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 clack, clack, clack. And you're fucking composing sentences like, this is the highlight of my year, listening to Millennial Woes and Morgoth's review. Depressing people on the internet for a couple of hours. Over Christmas. Fucking hell. So, I don't know. Back on point here. The dissident right. The dissident right. Well, yeah. Millennial Woes is an amoral man, fundamentally. His character is amoral. Does this mean he acts on these impulses? Don't know. I don't think so. I don't think he interferes with animals, and I don't think he interferes with kids. But as I stated, a person with this character, in certain circumstances, you know, possibly environmental circumstances, whatever, if he was in a different situation or whatever, he could act on this shit. And as I said, it's stuff like Sartre, all these little fucking, you know, toxicities that have been presented through the media over the last, 100 years or so. That's just one example. There's fucking, countless. It's guys like Millennial Woes who can get pulled into that and can become, like, genuinely, they can become predators in some cases. I don't think Millennial Woes is a literal predator, to be clear. But he has that character. He has a character which doesn't understand basic morality, doesn't respect basic morality. He is irreligious. He doesn't have God. He rejects God. He rejects Christ. He's not even a pagan. He places himself above it all. And in this example about bestiality, he places himself above the question. And in this little tap dance, this is probably just narcissistic lolcow shit, in all honesty. But he's basically saying, I've cracked it, and you can't tell me that this is wrong. So, as I stated, I don't think he, interferes with animals. But he is amoral, fundamentally. He has no moral compass. I mean, again, this is not open for debate. He lies to people, he manipulates them, and he grifts off them. He tells them the situation's desperate and he needs money. And the situation is far from desperate. Because he's got all money flowing around, just like lying around in fucking crypto wallets. But he'll grift off low-wage workers, and when they send him comments saying, I don't have much money, but I've sent you 30 quid. If I had more, I'd give you more, Colin. How do you feel about that, Colin, if you're listening to it? How do you feel when you get that? When that guy sent you 30 quid or whatever it was with that comment, I wish I had more, I don't have very much, but you can have this. And you've got fucking 26 grand just lying around in crypto, and you took that money. I bet you you did, didn't you? You just fucking loved the comment, or you liked the comment. Did you not feel any fucking guilt to that? Because there's a guy that probably has to fucking work a shitty job, and you've tricked him, and you've taken his money, but you've got 26 grand lying around in 2 fucking crypto portals alone. It's a genuine question. Here we go. Open question to Millennial Woes. You can put this in the fucking title if you like. Open question. How did that make you feel? That's something you can ignore. Or is this spiteful of me to ask? Is it spiteful of me to ask how it made you feel when that guy sent you 20 or 30 quid and said, I don't have much money, but you can have this, Colin. And you had 26 grand lying around in fucking crypto. Alone. 2 cryptos. He's got about half a dozen different crypto portals. That's just in 2. How did that make you feel, Colin? Can you comment on that? Of course he won't comment on that. If he comments on anything, he'll just say that I'm spiteful, or, I'm a Fed, or like I'm a demoralization agent, which is the ultimate fucking irony. So, this is what it is. The guy is amoral. It's displayed in his character regarding, this instance. It's displayed throughout the man's life. It's displayed in his actions regarding, his fans. Fans, but you know what I mean, his followers. He tricks them and takes their money. So this guy's a fucking wrong'un. This is the abiding red flag that is being fucking waved in front of you whenever he fucking speaks, quite frankly, if you can apply any kind of basic analysis of it. But the dissident right want it. This is what they want, so this is what they've got. So there you go.